Hello, and this is the sixth video. We're going to go ahead and do a practical example. Today we're going to see how we're going to keep track of our expenses. Assuming that we are making some income, let's go ahead and start by inputting the data here. Let's assume that somebody is a consultant, so making a different type of income or different amount of income. If this person made $7,500 in, let's just start with a month, July. And we keep track of 3 months. Here we go. In August made, let's say $1,000 was a bad month. Then we have $3,000 in September. And these are the expenses. Okay. And we're talking here about different type of, let's say here, house or mortgage. Say 1,200, and we could go ahead and use the fill handle that allow me to repeat the data for the same, especially numbers. We could actually get the same value, unless you wanted to go ahead and do the autofill and change that by filling a series, which is going to give you 1,200, 1,001, 1,002. Of course, I could go ahead and do it, but I'm going to go ahead and undo in order to get back the default increment, meaning the same value. Then we have car. Let's say we have car payment. So let's say $390, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing by using the fill handle to fill the same data. We have food. That, of course, that varies. Let's say 340, and that August was a bad month. Maybe we eat more of that when we don't feel good. So this is, let's say, 450. And we have a 340 for September. We have utilities, and we're going to go ahead and say here 190, 210, and 240. And we could go ahead and do books, say 120 and 100, and let's say 89. So all these going to be dollar figures. So I'm going to go ahead and do that a currency, and we're going to go ahead and see what is really the saving or the debt for that month. Okay, for each month. Of course, we have 3 different ways of calculating the saving or the debt. The saving is going to be if the income is larger than our expenses. Of course, if the income is less than our expenses, it's going to be debt, meaning we're going to have a negative value. There are 3 ways of doing this. Don't recommend the first 2 because they're very time consuming, like this one here, minus. Okay, let me go ahead and see here. I'm start to make a mistake because the more we type, the more mistake we make. And it's going to be the income minus every other piece of expenses. Here we go. It's going to give me 5,260, which is a good amount saving for that month. The other way of doing it is to go ahead and say this minus an open parentheses, saying this plus this plus this plus this plus this. It's going to give me, of course, the same amount. And the better way is to go ahead and say, okay, I need to get this minus the total of everything. There is a function that is called sum that allow me to really feed all these pieces of data to it. So it's going to be C3, which is the income minus the sum of all the expenses together, which is exactly what I want, and it's much easier. Notice here, one more time, this is a formula that is using a function as part of it, which is a great way of doing our calculation. Of course, we're going to go ahead and pull the fill handle. Notice there is no room or space for me to show the saving or debt for August, so I'm going to click on it. Notice it is in the negative. Of course, some people like different type of formatting. If we're going to go ahead and go to the number, you might like to see the negative value. Here we go. Actually, we could go take it from here, sorry. And you could see the formatting. Some people like to see the negative number as red. Some people like to see it as between 2 parentheses. And There's red in parentheses as well. I like to show it as a negative value just in case I don't have a color printer to show the value. Of course, you have to really worry about that within your corporate culture. You know what people like to see in the business that you're working for. I'll leave it like this. It's the safest format. And now we saved this much. Of course, we were in debt for this month, and we were in good shape here. I wanted to say if I do save more than $4,000 among all the 3 months, or if I added all the 3 months savings and it was greater than or equal to 4,000, maybe I should be going for a trip to Key West. So what we're going to do, we're going to have to add these. Here the total for all of them, which is going to be the auto sum, and it's going to sense that this is really what I need to include. I'll say that's very good. Obviously, I'm going to go to Key West, but I just don't want it to accept it like it is. I'm going to make it as an if function, say Key West or not, So I'm going to go ahead and just learn a little bit, or practice a little bit. We already learned if. If this is greater than or equal to 4,000, then let's go, again, this is multi-words, or words, characters, we have to enclose those between double quotes. Let's go to Key West. Else, after the second comma, not this time. Or I could say, sorry, no Key West this time. And notice here, let's go to Key West because that's exactly what the value is greater than or equal to 4,000 because the condition was true. If I do change this for whatever reason, just to show you why we use all this, let's assume that we put here like $1,000, and that's going to make this one here less than 4,000 as a result, so there is no way to go to Key West. So I want to learn how to make it dynamic, even though we know it's clear, but sometimes it's clear for us that we're going to go to Key West based on the calculation, but sometimes your data is going to be so much, so many of data scattered everywhere, and as a result you're not going to be able to tell, or decide based on what you can view. So you need to be able to really program or do something that you'll be able to see the result based on the condition, like we did in the if statement. Just in case there's a man change, of course the action based on that condition is going to change as well. Knowing that the data here is very few number of pieces of data, but in reality the data could be really a very large amount of it, and which really get us a little bit confused when we're trying to view where is that from where, which piece of data is going to determine. Build everything from the beginning in a way that is going to be responding to any condition, even though you could tell, but at least if this is change, this is going to change, to make it a more simple. Thank you for watching this video. We're going to continue with other videos in the future.